Aber wir gehen natürlich jetzt rein, und zwar in The Greatest Pirate Game Ever Made. Das beste Piratenspiel, was jemals gemacht wurde, von Modest Pelikan auf YouTube hochgeladen. Ich bin mal gespannt, was es sein könnte. Ob es vielleicht was mit Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag zu tun haben könnte. Was meinst du?
Ich bin mir nicht sicher.
Also. Okay. Ich denke auch, das wird nichts damit zu tun haben.
I was a kid, I didn't want to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a Somali pirate. There's something about pirates that we all respect. Their scimitar swords and alcoholism, but mostly it's the way they glamorize murdering everyone and stealing their treasure. In 2013, Assassin's Creed Black Flag capitalized on this and became an instant hood classic. They chose not to focus on the scurvy and syphilis and instead created an open-world pirate game that was good, clean fun. You start by washing up on the shore of a tropical island wearing a sleeveless vest, which is great for impressing wenches but isn't exactly sun-safe. Even pirates get skin cancer. I run into the jungle as the game teaches me the controls. How to climb up obstacles, which is important as 95% of Assassin's Creed games are climbing to the top of large structures and then triggering a cinematic camera spin. I proceed to swan dive into the shallow water. I get that we're a pirate, but no one in the vicinity has a gold life-saving certificate, so that was careless. There's an assassin on the island with me, and so naturally I decide to chase and kill him. Eventually the big girl squares up, but he's no match for my relentless button mashing. I take his clothes, and just like that, I have become the assassin.
So einfach bist du Assassine. Easy. Easy as that.
I spot a ship anchored in the cove, which is just swell. It looks like the owners of the ship have been taken captive by some English soldiers. One of the prisoners tries to flee, and they shoot him in the head. The 1700s were exhilarating. I sneak through the tropical plants, eliminating the isolated guards. This poor sea turtle is caught in the middle of everything. I guess that's what you get for laying your eggs right at the top of the beach so all your babies get dive-bombed by various seabirds and eaten alive when they madly try and rush to the water where less than 1% survive. Maybe my dad was a better parent than I give credit for. I rescue this merchant and he says I can use his boat. He asks me to follow him to the ship, but I run up this palm tree instead, as this is Assassin's Creed and I will climb everything.
Damals musste man noch überall draufklettern, Mann. So wie der Panda-Teddy, der mittlerweile 14 Monate hier auf dem Kanal rumklettert. Vielen, vielen Dank für den Sub.
Nice.
Best AC finde ich Black Flag. Ich nicht, aber es ist ein sehr geiles AC. Falls du es noch nicht gespielt hast, solltest du es nachholen.
Doch, das habe ich tatsächlich auf der PS3 angespielt. Auf der PS3. Muss einfach mal überlegen, wie alt das schon ist. Also sowohl die Konsole als auch
jung ist es noch, würde ich sagen.
Betrachtungsweise, ja.
Gerade ums Eck, Maurice.
Das ist richtig.
Verquatsch dich nicht.
Stimmt, da war ja was.
I board the ship, and to my surprise, there's an entire crew waiting. I guess they just chilled here and watched their comrades get butchered and tortured. What pals. I take the wheel, and we sail off for new lands. I was looking behind me and I missed the big whale jumping out of the water, but I imagine it was spectacular. You guys would have loved it. A cutscene then triggers, and all of a sudden we're not sailing anymore, we're out of VR and in the real world.
Du wirst halt einfach rausgerissen und dann bist du da. Irgendwie ist es nervig, irgendwie gehört es dazu. Es ist so ein Hasslieben-Ding. Keine Ahnung, Mann.
The only thing more fun than being a pirate.
Merlin hat 560 Stunden bei Black Flag, als du 11 warst? 560 Stunden.
Nice.
Also, Riesenrespekt.
Also ordentlich reingedeidelt, auf jeden Fall, würde ich mal sagen, ja. Ich habe, mit 11 habe ich nicht WoW gezockt, da habe ich Lego gezockt. Obwohl, vermutlich war ich da eher am Siedlerdaddeln oder so, wenn man ehrlich ist, ja. Dann hieß es immer, Stefan, geh mal raus, Fußball zocken. Ich soll, ja, in Gothic gibt's auch Bälle.
Natürlich.
Ja. Corny, herzlichen Dank für 6 Monate König mit dabei sein. Dankeschön.
Pirate is being a corporate office employee. If you're new to the...
Ach, guck mal, vielleicht können wir hier oversitten. Übersetzen.
In Afrikaans, oder?
Afrikaans ist immer die Qual der Wahl. Afrikaans oder Deutsch. So.
The Assassin's Creed franchise, this might be confusing, but in a nutshell, it's a game within a game. This woman gives me a tour and then gives me an iPad, which is suggestive, but then she starts kissing the big boss man.
Es ist ein sogenanntes iPad, wie die Bildungsministerin von NRW sagt.
I like a smooch as much as the next suit-wearing lackey, but workplace romance is incredibly unprofessional. I'm trying to access the memories of my ancient pirate ancestor, yet my handler is one performance review away from blowing the CEO. She shows me to my workstation, doesn't kiss me, and then we go back to being a pirate. We've reached Cuba with our merchant friend. For the moment, I'm posing as one of his crew members. We've done an excellent job blending in because, as we know, all merchants wear shadowy hoods and have many obvious blades on their person at all times. I follow this merchant dude for ages and then he tells me that he's lost. Do we get a map or ask for directions? Absolutely not. He asks me to climb a church. I initially struggle, but then I use this person's face as a footstool and get it done. Cue cinematic.
Er bringt die Sachen auch einfach so trocken und das ist so gut.
Das ist schon nice, also immer eben entspannt übers Gesicht auf die Kirche geklettert. Danke Stefan für die Untertitel. Hab sie auch für dich angemacht. Ich hoffe, es hilft dir so ein bisschen beim Verständnis.
Spinning shot that somehow never gets old. While I was busy navigating, the silly goose merchant got pickpocketed and now I need to catch the thief. I catch up and the game suggests I tackle him, but instead I double sword his back like a true pirate king. I then pick up his corpse and throw it onto the path below so all the commoners can see what happens to thieves. We head to the pub and my boy takes one sip of someone else's drink, which is how you get roofied. Trust me, I literally got roofied like this. I was a poor student and wanted to get drunk, and then in the corner of the bar was a bottle of Jim Beam and Cola, gleaming like it was part of an advertisement campaign.
Ich muss sagen, ich hatte irgendwie so eine Art Review oder so erwartet, aber das enttäuscht mich jetzt auch nicht.
Nö, ist richtig.
Ja.
It was like Jesus himself had placed it there for me, so I drank it like it was the elixir of life, and I got roofied. I slept on my mate's couch for almost 24 hours and woke up the most dehydrated I've ever been in my life. I don't even think anyone took advantage of me, so it was all for nothing. Like the video if you think roofies are fun and silly. Anyway, I get in a bar fight and then have to escape the area using what pirates are best known for. Park off. I head back to the ship and talk to my merchant friend who may be a victim of domestic abuse. Although there are people in cages right here, so I feel it's not as big of a deal in the early 1700s. In order to get my own ship, I need to earn the respect of the Spanish guard. What better way to do that than stealing a precious glass cube they like and then giving it back to them? The cube is kept in a fortress. First I need to follow these guards so I can get the key. Following and listening missions are a staple of the Assassin's Creed franchise, as aside from arguably anything, what's more fun than observing from a safe distance? I follow them to a public hanging, but the guy never actually gets executed. After much stalking, I find the guy who has the key I need, so I simply leap down on the dodgy Malacca from 42 feet. I can't imagine my character has a lot of cartilage left in his knees. I climb the fort as someone was nice enough to install these little climbing rings. I then accidentally clamber up onto these boxes and rush 2 guards. It's harder to jog normally in this game than it is to climb a cathedral. I take the fort by force, even using their shiny rifles against them. I notice 4 guards near an explosive barrel, and so I go to shoot it. It doesn't explode, but they also don't notice the gunshot. This is why the Spanish didn't remain a superpower. Glass cube obtained. I make friends with this cat and then head towards the Spanish royal castle.
Das war damals schon Stray.
Stray in Assassin's Creed.
Bester Clickbait-Titel eigentlich. So.
Eigentlich bester Titel auf jeden Fall. Das wird auf jeden Fall kommen.
Invite me inside as they think I'm that dork I murdered right at the beginning because I'm wearing his blue coat. Different facial features but the same coat, so it's fine. This palace is actually incredibly progressive. Spanish-speaking people with English-speaking gardeners. What a time to be alive. They're like, "What's up, mate? It's good to see you." The guy I'm pretending to be did good work for these people and so I'm welcome here. They ask if I can show them a few of my skills. Of course I oblige, but I'm like 9 or 10 rooftop leaps away from a double knee reconstruction. We make our way to the palace gardens and I meet this big dog. He's like, yeah nah, thanks for the glass cube. I'm basically part of the royal family now, but no one really likes me. I'm like Meghan Markle.
Hier in der Szene muss man immer Taschendiebstahl machen. Bester Trick ever.
But not biracial.
Sofort superreich.
While all these high-up Spaniards study a map, I proceed to pickpocket each and every one of them. We drink some more and then I leave. You might be wondering what I like to do in my downtime between main missions. Well, I mostly just destroy other sailors at checkers. It's like an easier version of chess for infants and women. I also pat...
Das Game gibt's? In dem Game? Ich glaube, ich habe es noch nie gespielt da drin.
Nee.
Krass.
Dogs because they're adorable. Now that the Spaniards love me, it's time to make like a male in a new relationship and immediately shatter that trust. I decide to break back into their royal palace and steal things. I wait for nightfall and work my way through all of the guards. I'm no doctor, but it feels like he definitely could have survived that fall. As I near the palace, I notice a few guards seem to have slipped over and bumped their heads. I proceed to take all the cash they have on them. I then get punched by a Templar and caught red-handed because immediately backstabbing my only friends was a questionable choice that I was forced into due to main story mission progression. I then have a flashback to my wife. I forgot to record the game audio, but it went something like this. Pelican, no, your penis is so big. Come back soon, I want to pour water into your mouth again. Now I'm a prisoner on a boat. Fortunately, the Spanish are about as good at locking people up as they are at recognizing assassins' faces. My new mate and I break free of our chains and start murdering everybody on board. We make a plan to steal one of these boats, but for that, we need a crew. Fortunately, there are sailors tied up everywhere, and so I free them in exchange for a lifetime of service aboard my ship. It's such good fun running between the ships and killing everyone. Many say the fall of Spain is due to the decentralized political nature of the empire and lack of focus on home economic issues. I say it's because of me. It's funny fearlessly watching him.
Das könnte durchaus sein, dass es nur an ihm liegt.
Ja.
Ja. Ich finde dich voll cool, Maurice. Kannst du Maurice bitte öfters in Livestreams einladen? Ich denke, dass ich das kann.
Ja, erstmal vielen Dank, Kai. Also.
Abends.
Das muss man mal schauen, ne?
Ja.
Wie das so möglich ist.
Leap from mast to mast so high up in the air, but then when I have to climb down, he does it so slowly because I'm not good with the controls. Safety first. All of these giant warships, and we decide to steal this little guy. They call it the Jackdaw, but that's a silly name. This is a jackdaw. It's the poor man's crow. We will call this ship Autumn Falls because it's Spanish and full of seamen. The conditions are rough and there's a few rogue waves around. It's extremely intense, but at least the huge waves are destroying the ships pursuing me. Then these things start showing up, and we could be looking at a Sharknado 7 here. Now I think we can all agree that the Sharknado saga is the best movie franchise of all time.
Oh ja.
Free from the
Sharknado sind einfach die geilsten Filme aller Zeiten.
Boah, es wäre so geil, ein Sharknado-Livestream.
Von Marvin Wildhage. Ein Sharknado-Screening.
Oh ja.
Leute, ist der beste Film. Geht da alle rein?
Und dann gehen da alle rein?
So.
Ja, machen wir, ne?
A storm, we are now able to sail the open seas and do some good old-fashioned pirating. I spot a little Spanish fishing trawler heading back for the day. Honest men doing God's work. I proceed to T-bone their vessel, crushing them and their fresh fish in the process. Pirating is a thankless profession. The Spanish aren't too fond of me for a multitude of reasons now, and I enter a battle with a worthy opponent. He then calls over an entire fleet with a warship, and so I decide it's time to do the brave thing and anchor and hide. It's good to see the crew having a good time. This guy is drinking rum right next to a guy who is scrubbing the floor. They always talk about the bad side of pirates. Yes, they killed people, but show me another profession in the 1700s where the men cleaned. Pirates were progressive. The ships chasing me are pretty polite and they won't attack me if I'm anchored. They just sail around and patiently wait while I hunt exotic ocelots and iguanas. As soon as the coast is clear, I sail for a dock in the Bahamas. We need to upgrade the ship and get it ready for some proper pirate ransacking. After all, we're the demons of the sea who everyone fears. The lads proceed to eloquently sing a perfect harmonized sea shanty to drive home this point.
Gerne einfach auch in der Gegend sehen würde, ne?
Ja. Und dann fort attackieren.
We arrive and the first thing I do is climb the 16th church of my playthrough and spin around a bit. I then head to the general store and drip out my guy in something less Assassin's Creed-y and more Warlord Pirate. Now this is a man who would pillage. I run around the island saving prisoners in exchange for them joining me in sailing the big bad Autumn Falls.
Ich glaube, als ich das im letzten Playthrough gespielt habe, habe ich einfach 3 Stunden lang nur diese Leute gerettet und Missionen gemacht und völlig vergessen, dass ich ja eigentlich weiterkommen wollte. Absurd.
Dass man eigentlich auch mal segeln könnte und weiterfahren.
Ja, das ist super.
Die Serie hat auch Bock auf Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Hat Moses YouTube bzw. macht es? Aktuell glaube ich nicht.
Leider, nein, leider gar nicht. Es fehlt die Zeit. Nicht die Motivation, die Zeit.
Jo, das Biene, mach's gut. Schön, dass du da warst und nimm uns das nicht übel. War natürlich nur ein Scherz. Mach's gut und gute Nacht.
Aber schlaf gut.
Und träumen was Schönes. Und vor allem eine kühle Nacht.
Oh ja.
We seal the deal with a surprisingly intimate handshake every single time. Our potential crewmate is due to be hung, and as much as I can appreciate public executions, I decide to save him. I shoot the noose rope and then go and untie my new bro, who I'm sure will be cleaning the ship in no time. Naturally, I then kill the executioner, and this message appears warning me not to kill innocent people. This guy was about to hang a man. You can't enter the killing game and be mad when you lose. It's no takesies backsies. With a big crew and a new hat, I head back to my ship. I sail through the West Indies looking for my first target. I engage the first vessel I can find, clearly underestimating the size of the big girl. It proceeds to one-shot the boys and I, and we all die. I can't help but remember when we could have stolen a Spanish warship, but decided to instead take this blow-up raft. I set sail again, and this time locate a much smaller boat. You've got to have a bully mentality in the pirate game. I remember playing this game as a kid, and that moment when you first swing from one ship to the other and realize how good this game really is. Pirates didn't wear eye patches because they had eye injuries. They used to change the patch over when going below deck, as the covered eye was already used to the darkness, making it easier to fight. Mission complete. We successfully became pirates.
Nein, wie smart ist das denn mal?
Das war richtig. Er hat schon gerade gesagt, sie waren fortschrittlich. Das ist, ja, 9000.
Nice. Also einfach das Auge abgedeckt, damit es an die Dunkelheit gewöhnt war.
Richtig geil.
Smart.
Richtig geil.
Nicht schlecht.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I love you and goodbye.
Das Ende fand ich jetzt abrupt.
Ja. Gerade hat er noch gesagt, wie geil eigentlich Piraten sind, und dann hört er so, okay und tschüss.
Also das Ende habe ich jetzt nicht so...
From one ship to the other and realize how good this game really is. Pirates didn't wear eye patches because they had eye injuries. They used to change the patch over when going below deck, as the covered eye was already used to the darkness, making it easier to fight. Mission complete. We successfully became pirates. If you enjoyed this...
Okay, also er wollte eigentlich nur Pirat werden und das Ziel des Videos war's, ein Schiff zu stürmen. Schönes Video hier vom Ehrenbruder Modest Pelikan. Kannte ich noch gar nicht.